This is the Samsung T350, a monitor that is not only affordable, but it has a good twist to it because this is in fact a gaming monitor. Now today's video we're going to be covering all the specs you need to know about this monitor, the design, and just how well it performs in terms of gaming use, because of course if you are someone that is getting into gaming just recently, you want to know what's the best monitor to go for that is not too expensive and that won't break the bank. So let's get straight to what you need to know. Now starting with the display, you can also see it is in fact 1080p. Now it is a FHD display, which means that it got a good anti-glare twitch, which is a nice perk to have because let's say you are gaming, you do not want to have any glare because it can affect your gaming performance. Now the display size that I have right here is the 24-inch model, but you do have the 22-inch version and you have the 27-inch version. But I think the 24-inch is probably the best option to go for. Now more into the display, it does in fact have a 75Hz display, which is actually very useful for gaming use. Now it does also have a 750 nits display, which means it's not too bright and not too dark, which is a perfect mix. I mean, it's very useful to not hurt your eyes when you're gaming. Now the response time for this monitor is 4 milliseconds, which is actually decently good for this type of price range where this monitor is placed. Now, a function that this monitor does have is AMD FreeSync, which means you do have a bit of a better gaming performance with this monitor. And not just that, but you also do have game mode, which means you can actually activate this for when you're doing your gaming sessions. Now going to the back of the monitor, you'll be finding 3 ports. One being the power port, which is a DC port. You'll find a VGA port, which is very useful for those that do in fact still use VGA, but obviously if you're not going to use it, then it's just going to be there for in case you do need to use it. Then you also have your HDMI port, which is a decent HDMI port. Now for most people that are out there, everyone knows this term when it comes to monitors that have this button, which is the nipple button, which is obviously how you can power it on, go through the settings, and obviously change certain settings when it comes to the display. Okay, so now going to the design of this monitor, you can also see it does have a nice modern design to it. Now it does have a very thin bezel for the 3 corners, and it has a thicker bezel at the bottom, which makes it stand out a little bit more and just feels a bit bigger in person when you look at it in more of a physical form. Now going to the stand, it is very sturdy. It is made of a good hard plastic, which I guess is most common with a lot of cheaper monitors on the market. And I mean, it doesn't have a lot of adjustment to it because obviously it is more of a fixed position. It does have a good tilt though, which I think is a good perk with this. Now looking at the back, you do have mounting holes, which means yes, you can use a monitor arm with this monitor. Now looking at the stand, I do see this common with a lot of Samsung displays that I've reviewed on my channel, like the Samsung M7, which I do currently use still. It does have a cable management thing, which is actually nice to have because it makes it a lot more neater for your gaming sessions. It makes it look more professional, and I mean, if you're a gamer, we gotta get those girls, I mean, come on. Now that we've checked everything in terms of specs and even the design, it's time to actually show this performance of this monitor by doing some gaming on it. Now I currently do have the AMD FreeSync activated right now, which means you can see kind of how well it performs so far. And it's actually now time to show how well this monitor looks in terms of gaming use, which might look a bit jank, but it's the only way I can show you guys how it actually looks in terms of gaming use. So right now I have Forza Motorsport opened up, and so far on the main menu, it looks really impressive. And let's actually try to test this monitor out by giving it some more of a performance in terms of just giving it some action on the screen right now. So let's get straight to it. Okay, so far we're going to get into the race, and this looks impressive. Now I did choose a track that I'm actually familiar with because I've been to this track personally, and it's a good track. So right now, there is one thing you can probably notice right now is that there is no sound because unfortunately, one thing that sucks about this monitor, it does not have any speakers, which means you'll have to get speakers for this monitor. But I mean, it's a good monitor, and I mean, with the price point being a good price, which we'll get to at the end of the video, it's actually worth going for, and you probably have enough money left over to basically get yourself a speaker set that is more affordable and is more trustworthy. But so far, this is actually really impressive. I did go off track, which I guess is not my idea, but let's actually check how this looks inside. And the graphics is really impressive with the display. It's showing the game in a good form. Now I've actually played this game more on my M7 monitor, which is a 4K display, 60 Hz, but compared to that, besides it having lower graphics in terms of display resolution, it's actually impressive for a 1080p monitor. I mean, with that 75Hz, it does come in handy. Obviously, if you do have an Xbox Series X or a PC or even a PS5 that can handle more hertz, then it's worth getting this monitor for those type of consoles. Because the Xbox Series S, yes, it does look impressive on this display, and I mean, it is probably worth getting this with the Xbox Series S with this monitor. Okay, so now going to the conclusion of this video is obviously going to the pricing of this monitor, which obviously, depending where you're going to get this monitor from, depends on the pricing. But if you are going to be getting this monitor straight from Samsung themselves, this monitor will cost you $129, which is actually a decent price for this. But if you do want to get it for a cheaper price, you can go to Amazon. There will be a link in the description, which will also help the channel a lot. Which basically, you can get this for about $75 on Amazon, which is more refurbished, but you do have newer versions along with the product I'm putting in the link down below. Okay, so going to things that I think makes this monitor stand out more is that, well, it's an affordable gaming monitor on the market. It is really well performance. I mean, obviously the one downside of this monitor is that it has no speaker system, so you do have to fork out some more money to actually get some speakers that you can use with this monitor. But otherwise, if you're going to just use a headset, it's going to be a lot better for that. But I'll have to say this monitor is worth getting for anyone that is starting out with gaming or just wants an affordable monitor which is decently quality for anything like video editing or even just watching YouTube or even Netflix. But otherwise, let me know in the comments below what you think of this monitor. Do you think there's any other monitors that can go against this monitor on the market? Otherwise, hope you guys enjoy. See you guys next video. Be safe as always. Have a great day. Bye.